pain step. I will be showing you some important pain discovery techniques. You'll discover how you can shorten your selling cycle, save time by disqualifying prospects who aren't going to buy from you, and improve your closing ratio dramatically. The 50% Club. Let me say up front that this book is not for everyone. I'm aiming this book at sales professionals who want to increase their sales effectiveness and their commission income by at least 50% in 1 year. I call those people members of the 50% Club. If that's a commitment that you'd like to make to yourself or one that you already have made, I'm glad to be part of that journey. My goal is to help people grow, and this book is one way of doing that. I believe that sales is a noble profession that deserves an extremely effective selling system, one that maximizes your results. By the way, I also believe that any selling system you choose to follow should be used ethically and honorably. While that may seem like a contradiction to some, it's something I feel quite strongly about. Let me explain why. I can promise you that what you will learn by reading this book and implementing its approaches will be extremely powerful. In fact, if you implement them, they will change your career and your life. I must caution you, though, to use what I will be sharing with you in the right manner. Think of it this way. You can buy a car to get from point A to point B, and probably enjoy the ride along the way. It's understood that you won't use the car to run people over. In the same manner, I want you to use what you learn from this book ethically and morally. Rest assured that, in doing so, you will develop long-term relationships and make a lot of money. That's certainly been my experience. Many long-term clients I've worked with have reached out to me to introduce me to their children, who end up purchasing our membership programs and corporate training. Eye-openers. Before we begin, let me ask you to prepare for some challenges to your core assumptions. I've designed each and every chapter to be an eye-opener as you transition through important changes in the way you will approach prospects, customers, and possibly even friends and family. Keep an open mind. Try adopting what I suggest. Be willing to move beyond your current comfort zone. Practice in low-risk situations, and you'll be better prepared for the times you really need these approaches. Making that commitment to yourself will help you accelerate your effective learning and implementation. My intention is to share with you cutting-edge but proven approaches to uncovering pain. Pain will be defined several ways, but basically it is the one thing that compels people to buy products and services. Much more on what pain is to come. Beyond, we'll think it over. When your typical hard-working salesperson tries to sell to a prospect, he usually relies on the products or services, features, and benefits to do most of the selling. Even if he offers lots of free consulting and invests lots of time, effort, and energy in the relationship, he usually gets a non-committal response like, "We'll think it over." Think about what's happening here. Following this traditional approach, the salesperson spends way too much time on the opportunity and does not get the results he wants. Since your expertise on your field and your products and services has value, it must be protected. Traditional selling approaches do not protect this most valuable of assets, your intellectual property. Yet it's not as if the prospect enters your house in the dark of the night and steals something physically. It's worse than that. Your knowledge has value. Your knowledge is your property. When you share your knowledge in the form of free consulting, you have given away your intellectual property. Everywhere I go, I find salespeople are freely giving their precious intellectual property away. Why? Because they don't know any other way to sell than using the traditional approaches. Can you relate? If so, what can you do about it? First of all, you have to accept responsibility for the fact that you've been letting it happen. You are doing what you were conditioned to do, but it's time for a change. This situation is down to you. It's not your prospect's fault. After all, you can't change the prospects. You can only change yourself and the way you sell. If it is true that you are personally accountable and you have control of your own outcomes, how can you become a more effective salesperson? What do you do instead of offering time-consuming free consulting before and during your too early presentation? How do you avoid discussions that end with, "Let me think it over"? Here's the short answer. You need to sell first